Hello and welcome to Thursday Confessions. I'm reporting from the very wet Red Cross Nordic United World College, the school that I've gone to from the age of 17 to 19. It's an international school where actually I started my journey into the world of theater, where I first gave myself permission to do what I love to do. So I wanted to speak about this today. What do we love to do, and why do so many people love acting? Because it's not the first time that I hear in conversations with people that they secretly tell me when they hear that I do theater that, oh, I will always wanted to act, but either I tried it in college and then I didn't continue down this road, or I never even gave myself permission to try it in school. But yes, there seems to be a lot of interest in performing that people do not somehow allow themselves to explore. So first of all, I wanted to speak about why could that be, and I will refer to my own personal example here, which very appropriately happened in this place actually. So when I arrived to the college here, I was convinced that I will do something serious. As many of the people from ex-USSR republics, I guess, I knew that to do arts, you either need to be crazy or super talented and incapable of doing anything else, because there wasn't much money in it, and yeah, it felt like it is not a pathway to be followed if you can avoid it. But here my viewpoint changed completely, because I saw how creativity is viewed in a completely different way. Because here actually students were encouraged to express themselves creatively, regardless of their actual ideas on their future professions. We had a traveling show which was featuring many different cultures, and students completely made it up themselves. They were performing different kind of music and dance, and showing all the different nationalities that United World Colleges normally have on site in the locations, in their campuses. There were also such activities as photography on offer, and there was also, for example, if you wanted to take theater or art, obviously it could be a part of your curriculum. But I did not take theater as my subject, which would be a part of my curriculum, because as I mentioned, it was not on my mind to study theater at all. It's not that I wasn't interested in it, but more that I wasn't completely convinced that this is a thing that a normal person can do. And I didn't feel like I would be talented to choose this path. But my viewpoint changed here, and I remember very well the moment when it happened, because we have a tradition in this college, as well as in many other colleges actually, that they make Vagina Monologues, the play, and show it here. The students performing it themselves. This is actually to raise more awareness, I guess, because the play is really powerful and, let's say, brings feministic ideas into light. And I was not even involved in that, but I heard somebody rehearsing in another room when I was practicing the piano, just here. Maybe you cannot see, but it happened in our theater space called The Hague. And I realized that, wow, other people allow themselves do that. They go and perform. And I somehow blocked myself that possibility. And yeah, the thought was triggered that maybe it wasn't quite right. And then I decided to check out the theater class. I spoke to the theater teacher here at the time. His name is Peter Wilson. He's just retired this year, by the way. If you're watching, Peter, hi, sending you love from Red Cross Nordic, where you're not currently at, but I still hope to catch you here one day. So yeah, I spoke to him, and he kindly allowed me to come and join his class as an observer, because it was too late to change the subject. So maybe it was a possibility, but actually it was not encouraged. And so I started observing the theater class here, and I absolutely loved it. And then I regretted that I didn't take it as a subject, but it's just been the matter of luck that there was I had a free window during the time when the other guys had theater class. So I actually joined the theater class here and became involved not only as an observer but also as a participant. I started acting in the shows they were doing, and also attending all the classes and learning about things that the guys were exploring here. And I remember very well the presentation that was made by Alejandro, one of the guys in college who was my co-year. He's from Uruguay, and he was making a presentation on Wesselward Meerhold, and I was absolutely inspired by it, because I realized that, you know, theater is not only about what you see on stage, but about this whole science, I would say, how you perceive the work that you need to put in order to go on stage. And that got me really interested. I guess that was the first time when I realized that I'm pretty curious not only about being on stage, but also about understanding how this process works. And I guess later that evolved into my pathway of a researcher. But yeah, I think if it wasn't for this college, I'm not even sure if it would have happened. Perhaps because life in Lithuania has changed also. But mostly I am grateful to this place that I did give myself permission to follow through with this pathway, because then on I continued. And as you know, I'm currently a performance maker and researcher, and this has become my life. But not everyone does give themselves permission to do it, and I think that's a shame, because we still view creativity as if it was something that is meant to be done only by people who are super gifted or talented. And that mustn't necessarily be the case, because we all have our capabilities. And if there is an urge to express something creatively, I think it's a very important reason to actually do it. And this understanding, commercial kind of understanding of theater, I think comes from the idea of the commercial industry of arts, where art is considered a product that we should be consuming, and actually very little is spoken about the fact that actually theater, people that watch theater are actually co-creators, and that was actually one of my subjects during my doctoral research. And the more I think about it, the more it makes sense to consider audience as co-creator, and not necessarily physically actively involve them, but to make it more challenging to the participation in the theater performance, because I think it's very important to understand theater not only as a thing that happens during the time when the lights go off in the auditorium, but also as a thing that happens before that, including the ritual of preparing mentally, reading about the show, and also coming in and perhaps having a little ritual, as in going to a cafe and talking to your friends about what you will see or would have seen. So yeah, I think this whole experience should be considered theater. And not only that, I would go even further down the line to say that this understanding that we currently have of theater, which is still dominant pretty much anywhere in the Western societies, that it is something that we should be seeing only on the commercial stages, not necessarily commercial, well, no, but generally that we should go to a theater necessarily to experience art of performing. I think it's not entirely correct. There is ways to experience theater otherwise, and increasingly so by expressing yourselves creatively through dance, through speech, and I hope there will be more and more opportunities to do so, but those opportunities cannot come from nowhere, and so it's our responsibility to make them. So I don't know, I think that's what I wanted to cover actually, that what Norway has given me was this, as I said, permission to allow myself to express myself creatively, and from there on I actually built a life more around this profession. And I think that permission is something that we're often lacking. Not the talent, not you know the I don't know, physical capabilities to perform or express yourself creatively in other ways, but actually that mental decision of I allow myself to express myself. And that is partly also what I'm doing today here, trying new format of Thursday Confessions without any rehearsals or preparations, just talking, whatever comes to my mind. I have thought about the topic a little bit, but I have not planned it as I usually would. And yeah, I gave myself permission to do that because I think it's interesting to see this version of Milda also, who is very much alive and perhaps less decisive and less precise, but very much real. And so, yeah, my advice to you would be to think first of all and consider what are the areas in which you still haven't given yourself permission. Whether you are a professional artist and you are doing this for life and you think that you actually gave yourself permission, I think there are still areas that maybe you're not allowing yourself to explore. So perhaps going into more experimental work and stuff, because I know it's always a challenge to get out of the safe zone of doing what is expected of you, or the roles that you undertake, or the formats in which you present yourself. And I think it's always worth to take a risk and do something completely new that you are not so confident about. But also, if you are not related to the world of arts or theater at all, but you have this little urge saying that maybe I want to, for example, in a conversation, bring out a new topic that really is really important to me, but I never thought other people think about it, and actually express those ideas that come to your mind, and give yourself permission to do that, and give yourself permission to be more creative, not necessarily maybe so logical, and with your friends and with people you don't know also, because there are plenty of opportunities now to go to poetry readings and stand-up open mics and stand-up attempts. So I think there are opportunities that we can all use, and I take advantage of that also because because I think it's important to explore new ways of communicating and expressing yourself. And I think that was the main idea of today, is this idea of the permission and how to give it to ourselves. I'm grateful to it, for it, to this place, but maybe sometimes you don't even need the place, you just need to find something within you. So I hope you do, and perhaps this talk will help you discover it. Thank you for listening and being with me, reporting from the beautiful Norway, beautiful and rainy. Milda's Performance Research and Thursday Confessions, and see you next time.